Everybody, here we have a Dell Inspiron 1525 laptop in for diagnosis. This is roughly from 2008. It's of course similar to the Inspiron 1525 that I have. I'm going to grab it. Except mine has a whole lot more wear and tear on it. As you can see. But anyways, friend got these from, don't know exactly the source, he got them for real cheap, as is. And if you go to turn it on, it just flashes the caps and scroll lock indicators, and the num lock is solid. So it's some sort of indication of an error. When you look at the bottom, there are screws missing, like somebody has been in here and parted this thing out. He just wanted me to take a look and see what I could do with it. Yeah, this screw here is loose. That one's loose. That one's not even in. That one's not even in. That one's not even, barely in. Alright, let's pull this out and see what's going on here. Oh yeah, no RAM installed at all. Somebody took the RAM out of it, and the hard drive is going out of it too, and they installed the caddy as well. So we'd have to order a whole nother caddy for this thing. So both DDR2 DIMMs are going out of it. Not sure exactly what CPU we have. If I can find the S spec, that'd be great. Or get my flashlight. I can maybe be able to read what's on that chip without having to take the heatsink out. Or the cooling. Having to take the cooler off. It's a 2 gigahertz, whatever it is. What we'll do is let's go ahead and pop some RAM in it and see if we can get it to post. I think the motherboard in it's fine, it just needs some RAM. Let's pop in a random stick of DDR2. This 1 gigabyte stick should suffice. And guys, wait till you see the battery that came out of this thing. You know the batteries, you notice how the battery's missing? Well, that's because I took it out. This laptop apparently, and I don't know for sure, there's actually a little bit of rust on this bottom door here. This laptop apparently has been subjected to a lot of extreme heat. Like maybe it's set inside of a car in the direct sunlight, because laptop batteries should not do this. Yeah guys, that's not good at all. That's kind of scary if you think about it. The battery is literally bulging. Yeah, it's bulging up in this area. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this pack has 18650s in it. I don't know. I mean, it could perhaps have the I guess you call it prismatic, or the pouch cells. I could just do a quick search before I go any further with this. Well, let's just go ahead and try to power it up and see what it does. Okay, I got a stick of RAM in it. I'll just go ahead and flip this back over. Don't have to have the door back on just yet. Just for testing, let me grab my Dell charger. I don't need to use my universal since I have a actual Dell charger laying around. I have multiple Dell chargers, as they are so freaking common. So I try to only use that universal thing if necessary. Now let's see if this laptop has any life in it. Now, of course, no hard drive. We're not going to boot into Windows. You can forget about that. Oh yeah. All I need is some RAM. I'm not sure what it's doing here. We did have a post screen there for a second. Oh, this piece of crap tripod. Well, we lost our video, which is weird. See if I can get into the BIOS. It's like, what the heck? After it gets past the post, we lose our video. Okay, I found out what's going on here. I brought the flashlight for a reason. It's going to start it up. Well, it started up on its own. The issue is with the CCFL and the displays. I think it's actually a problem with the CCFL inverter. Now, I do have some inverters laying around, but I went through a kind of a unique issue with a while back. I'm sure you may remember with my Inspiron 1525 when the screen got messed up. Had to replace it. First thing I did is I installed one of my LCDs that I had from like a HP TV 6000, and the display was very dim. And it was actually an issue related to the incompatibility with the CCFL inverter, I think, from the 1525 and the display from the HP. Ultimately, the inverters were of a different style, and I had to actually order a display off of eBay. The inverters are kind of attached to the displays on these. It's kind of tricky to deal with. So what's going on here is I think the inverter is shorting out, which is why you only see it for a brief moment. That's why I only have light for a brief moment, because watch this. I'll close it up and I'll open it. You get 1 second of actual light, and during the time that it's actually working, you actually hear a faint hissing sound coming from the inverter. So I think the problem is with our inverter that's located in this area. So it looks like, let me try to access the BIOS setup on this. Having to hold this stupid camera because the piece of crap tripod will not lock. They don't make them good anymore. It's like they don't last but a year, if that, of moderate use. F2 for setup. And as you can see, we're still loading the BIOS right now. It's acting funky because there's no battery installed. And we're in the BIOS. If I shine my light toward the display, you can actually see. You can barely see the text on the display. See system info. We might be able to see what we have in there as a processor. Oh, this is so freaking horrible. It's very hard to see that display without a working inverter. See, we get it for just a moment. Processor info. Come on. It's got a Core 2 Duo processor in it. So, not too shabby, and of course there's a sticker right there, so we know it's a Core 2 Duo, which is better than the Pentium dual core. And of course 2 gigahertz. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up and see if we can figure out what's going on here. It could be a loose connection, it could be something weird going on that might be able to be easily resolved. Okay, so getting this display open on this model laptop is not terribly difficult. Just got to peel off these little rubber thingies, because there are screws under them, all 6 of them. Because truth be told, the inverter may be okay. It could just be an issue with a loose connection or a shorted wire. I mean, all way to know is to look in and just try to find out. Go ahead and loosen up our screws. And imagine this laptop, like many Dells from this time period, the screws that hold the display hinge in have backed out over time because Dell decided they didn't want to put Loctite on the screws. I've got another Dell laptop here that we're going to be doing a video on, and it's even worse. I call it the floppy laptop. Yeah, the lid should not have too much play in it like that. It does over time get worse to where the bottom of the display will start to, not the LCD, but the lid will start to come apart. That's crazy that somebody would just abandon this thing and part it out, take the RAM and the hard disk out over something so stupid simple as this. I mean, these are older laptops, don't get me wrong, but they're decent laptops for what they are. Of course, you guys know I've had one for many years. I did actually retire mine, I think early this year or late last year. But it's always been a very reliable machine. And with the BIOS updating to the latest BIOS, it runs Windows 10 relatively well, with little to no problem. So I'll do is I'll go ahead and try to separate these pieces. See guys, this is back when they actually built laptops decent, actually pretty well. The 1525 is an example of that. Some may disagree, but when you compare it to newer consumer grade laptops thrown out from Dell and HP, it's just, these were so much more reliable and better built. I mean, to be honest, I'm sure you know that mine has actually been run over by a Jeep Grand Cherokee and still works to this day. Of course, that's what cracked the LCD, but it didn't mess up the lid. It didn't mess up the rest of the laptop. It warped the hard disk. I mean, think about it. It put enough pressure on it to warp the hard disk, but the rest of the laptop is totally fine. Well, I mean, aside from the cracked LCD that I replaced. I replaced that messed up LCD, and I continue using the laptop like nothing was ever wrong with it. We have some adhesive right here, by the way. Okay, there's our inverter. And of course, you want to always make sure that you disconnect any power source from your laptop before messing with this, because of course the inverter does generate a high amount of electricity. It's a high voltage supply to run these CCFLs in the monitor. This model does not have the webcam. Let's see, what I did here was I just... Oh, there are 2 screws I want to take out, one here and one over here. Not sure if you're picking this up on video or not, but there's one over here I'm going to take out, and one over here. I mean, I can try replacing that inverter with one that I have on hand, but I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. I do have some spare inverters laying around, but not sure if they're compatible with this model machine. Okay, so now the LCD you can just lean it forward. And what I'll do is I will reconnect both cables. However, I do think the inverter might be shorted out. I mean, there might be a short in the inverter somewhere that's causing it to fail. So one nice thing about newer laptops is they don't have inverters. Most of them don't anyway. They use LED backlit displays. And of course, if you didn't know already, again, I'll mention it again, I've replaced the LCD in my 1525, so I already had an idea of what was in here. Peel this tape back, and I'll reconnect our... I'll disconnect and reconnect the high voltage cable that runs to the CCFL. Well, I'm thinking our inverter's probably bad. Pop that back in. Make sure this is well secured and, well, wasn't quite. There we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rest this back in its normal position. I'll stick this tape back over where it normally goes, and let's give it another try and just see what it does. I'll just lay it right back in its normal resting position. And what we'll do now is we'll try to power it up. Just see what it does. And of course, don't put your fingers anywhere near this, right near this thing when it's running, so. Same thing. So I'm thinking our inverter has probably failed. So I'm going to dig through what I have and see if I can find anything that might be a compatible fit. Though, honestly, I doubt it. I doubt I have a compatible fit. Okay, a quick search online. It looks like the inverters that are in the Latitude D630s and possibly maybe even the D620s or other similar models would be a cross-compatible fit with this laptop. That's something I think I'll take a look at, because I do have some older latitudes that are laying around for parts, so I might be able to source a compatible inverter board from that. Okay, I have managed to find an inverter board. It looks like it may be compatible. This is a Latitude D630. The only thing about it is the mounting holes on this bracket are not exactly in the same spot as the inverter board on this laptop. And it doesn't look like these can easily be changed over. Well, I might give it a try. Okay, so it turns out this inverter is okay, and so is that one. It's actually the backlight in the display. Now, I've heard on some occasions where people have actually replaced the backlights, though I've heard it can be pretty tricky to do. Now, that display out of that D630 I don't think is the same size as the 1525. I know they're different displays. The 1525 has a glossy display, and the Latitude D630 has the flat display. That's where I went down my display. Oh, it's over here. I don't think they're the same size. Nope. This one's a little smaller. Well, it was a good try anyway. Hey everybody, I sure hope you guys enjoyed this video from Q Computer Channel. Remember to like the video, subscribe to Q Computer Channel for more updates, and remember to tick the bell so that we actually get notified of these updates. Did you know that I am also on a second channel that's CubeComp MTDX? Over there you'll find videos of bicycling, weather, elevators, and all sorts of other neat and interesting stuff. Feel free to subscribe to that channel as well. And again, I thank you for your support, and thanks for watching this video.